coming up.
I'd say there were 3 solid heartbreaks in my life with men that if I could do it again, I would have done it differently for sure.
And do you want to elaborate, or you would prefer not to?
Well, definitely I would have done things differently with Prince for sure.
Wow, as in Prince the singer?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even know you guys dated. And
yeah, we did. I think I drove him bananas.
I guess based on how you speak, you were pretty hot-tempered.
Oh yeah, I was an angry bitch.
So last week we started our interview with Dr. Troy Byer, noted Hollywood actress, author, psychologist, and so much more. And this week we wrap things up. This is a fascinating interview that you cannot afford to miss.
If you get your mind right, your life will be tight, period.
Wow, I love that. If you get your mind right, your life will be tight. Stay tuned.
Thanks to all our current partners and sponsors. If you are interested in sponsoring or partnering with the Trailblazers, send an email to thetrailblazers247@gmail.com.
Some of our most prominent producer them in the industry tell Tony that he could not bust a female artist because
Failing is one thing. Failing publicly is a very hard thing. My father always said he was growing a prime minister.
And I said I was holding my mouth, the lies were going, and I sat and I saw women on the TV just lying bluntly, just like that.
Released the all media survey, and when you look at the name Ron Mushet, 0, 0. And then they send back to say that they apologize. The lady up there never put in the number.
Seriously?
In terms of help like house cleaning.
Yeah, my mom was a helper back then and stuff. To be honest, I was just excited, to play for West Indies.
I did it. I made my move into entrepreneurship at 40.
What, last comments would you want to share with
you? Have your core values, you do the right things, it'll fall in place for you.
All right, Dr. Troy. So one of the things I wanted to really touch on was, because you mentioned, you kind of said it nonchalantly, but I know it must have been very hurtful for you. You said you had a lot of failed relationships, and how did you deal with that? Because a lot of women face things like that, and men. So how did you deal with that?
So I didn't have an example on what a healthy relationship looks like, right? And behavior for the most part is learned. A lot of it is inherited and a lot of it is learned. So I come from a generation of women who are single mothers. I didn't know what it looked like to have a healthy relationship with a man. As a matter of fact, I was raised to believe that you just have the babies from the men, you get the money from welfare, and you get your love and your support from your sisters or your other female family members. That's what I was raised to believe was the correct way to exist in this world. So as a result, who I showed up as in relationships was not someone that anyone would want to stay with for extended periods of time.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's so hard to believe.
Well, I've come a long way, but I was just very dramatic and very argumentative and very just difficult, I would say. In retrospect, looking back, I can see how it was challenging. Now, there are relationships that I have been in that I'm very happy that they're over, and I'm happy that I wasn't the kind of person that was willing to stick it out through thick and thin for better or for worse, with these individuals. But I'd say there were 3 solid heartbreaks in my life with men that if I could do it again, I would have done it differently for sure. Yeah.
And do you want to elaborate, or you would prefer not to?
No, I don't mind. I mean, I'm not going to say who it is, obviously. Well, definitely I would have done things differently with Prince. For sure.
Wow, as in Prince the singer?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even know you guys dated. And
yeah, we did. I think I drove him bananas. I think I drove him bananas. I don't usually talk about him, but I'll say that about that. And then there were 2 other relationships that I think I could have done a little better at, and then like, those are like the getaways. I call them my getaways.
Yes, yes, yes. So having the experience, because as you mentioned, it's always good in hindsight when you can look back at mistakes made and moving forward for the future. Do you think, by the way, I don't want to really get too much in your personal affairs, but do you see yourself again in a very long-term sort of relationship, or are you in such a situation at the moment?
Right. So first of all, you can get all up in my business. It's okay. Full disclosure. I have nothing hidden. I have no skeletons in my closet.
Okay.
I love transparency.
Okay.
So yes, I do see myself in a long-term relationship. Yes. And there is someone that's very special that has been long-term. I'm very private about my romantic life. Just because I've had so many public relationships.
Yes, yes.
You know, it's nice to keep it on the down low.
Indeed, I love that. And I feel that maybe sometimes having that privacy actually helps the strength of the relationship. Exactly,
exactly. I could not agree more.
Okay.
And I'm better equipped. You know, I have a lot of patience now.
Yes, yes, yes. I guess based on how you speak, you were pretty hot-tempered.
Oh yeah, I was an angry bitch. You know what? I went to jail for beating up my boyfriend.
You did?
Yeah, I whooped that ass.
So hilarious.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, really, when I tell you I had a temper, and I was a fighter. I grew up in the hood. I grew up in the projects. I lived in homeless shelters. Like, I was a fighter.
Yes, yes, yes.
So these are all ways of being that did not serve me, which is why I was looking to dismantle them, because I didn't want to keep going through life like that, you know?
Yes, yes.
And now it makes me better able to help other people. And that's what all of my coaches and my trainers and Mindology, we're all trained in how to help people not be that person.
Yes. And then in terms of the relationship with your mom, were you able to heal that, especially after having that experience where, as you mentioned, as a child, seeing her about to commit suicide?
No, that relationship was never healed as far as being able to create a healthy relationship with her. She is still present here on the planet. I have not been in touch with her in a long time because she's not good for me. I now know that. She's very toxic, and she has no interest in getting help.
Wow. You know? Wow.
So if she were to come to me and say, you know what, I really do realize that I need some help, I would be the first one in line to do whatever I could. But she thinks that the way that she's living works for her. And so it should work for her. It's her life. It doesn't work for me. And it doesn't work to have her in my son's life. And my sisters, there's a few of us that just don't speak to her because she's just so toxic.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a very present reality for many people, unfortunately, whether it's a family member or a close friend that, you know, at some point in their journey, they may have to cut ties, even though they love them from a distance. So how does someone do that, especially when it's somebody that you will still love, but you realize, as you mentioned, they may be toxic for you and doing what's best for you to thrive?
Yeah, it's really difficult. And it took me a long time to finally realize that my life is better without her in it. And, you know, that was really tough. And I know a lot of people do tolerate it, but you have to look to see what is the value that that person brings to your life. If they bring you more sadness than they do joy, it's just becomes it's a math, you know, they can't stay. And also, here's the other thing I'll say about my mother and my father, because he was also toxic, is that they were the best teachers I ever had in my life. You know, they gave me a front row view of who I didn't want to be for myself or for my children. So I look at it in that way, like, you really taught me a lot about life. And teachers are they don't always show up in a positive way. It could be a negative way, but if you take away bad, good, right, wrong, negative, positive, and you look at everything as information for your growth and your development, then you have a whole different perspective on the relationship. And I've definitely grown a lot, and I've developed a lot as a result of having the parents that I've had.
Wow. And it's just interesting hearing your story, Dr. Troy, because we as the wider public, or, you know, look at all that you have accomplished, you would never know unless you, for example, shared it on a platform that you, such a beautiful lady and so accomplished, went through all of those things. So how would you say that you've managed, you know, all these years, despite the trauma, despite the negativity, despite your own shortcomings, which you have mentioned, which we all are guilty of, to be so successful in another area of your life and to thrive? And how can you say we can do that as well?
So my first thing I say is all praise to God. Just right there. God has been my anchor and my guide and my best friend and my confidant and the angels. I really believe in the power of God and the spoken word. And I think I've anchored myself in that because I had nothing else, right? So thank God, that's all I needed. Literally, thank God. And then from that, it really had to do with me getting my mind right. I worked very hard to get this between these two ears, to get it right. It's important to do that because I was losing my mind. Like I said to you, I was like, what is happening? And I was becoming another version of my mother and my father. So I went and got my mind right. If you get your mind right, your life will be tight, period.
Wow, I love that. If you get your mind right, your life will be tight. And that is so true because everything starts in the mind and is controlled by the mind.
Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely. There's no shortcuts. You got to look at your mind. Our neural muscles in our mind are just like our physical muscles. They get stronger with repetition. So you have to work out your mind. You have to go and you have to sit and you have to let what's there be released, then put new information in and do your visualization and, you know, dance and tap into the frequency that empowers you. You know, it's really important.
Wow, I love it. I've been enjoying this conversation, Dr. Troy Byer, and I'm so proud of your accomplishments. And we can be able to do these practical exercises you said by going to your website. You want to repeat it for our viewers?
Yes, mindologyfitness.com. There's so many things you can do there. You can do the fitness class. We have the 5-minute class, 15-minute class, 30-minute class, 1-hour class. You can sign up for a Mind Champ. Even if you just want to talk to someone for 15 minutes, it's $1 a minute. And you get to talk to one of the champs that I've trained, and they're fantastic. And what I like about my Mind Champs is you only speak to the person who's gone through whatever experience you're going through. So if you're dealing with heartbreak, you would speak to the champ who specializes in heartbreak. If you're going through death, you would speak to the champ who specializes in death. And why does she specialize in death? Because she became a death doula, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so they're really, really great people that have walked a mile in your moccasins, you know, so to speak. So they've been there, done that, and they're now here to be your champion and help you through it.
Thank you. And any last comments that you want to share?
What do I want to say? Dance, just dance.
Just dance. Just dance. All right. I'm going to be putting on my dancing shoes.
Good.
Working on getting the mind fully right and tight.
Great. I love that. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Troy Byer. Remember to check out her website. I will put the link in the bio so you can also follow her and and subscribe and get to doing all of these wonderful exercises. Keep up the fantastic work.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I have so many Jamaican friends and they're always doing the patois in front of me. I'm like, what are you talking about? So thick.
Oh boy. Hi everyone, I am Tamara McKayle, television and radio presenter, producer, communication specialist, and of course producer and host of the Trailblazers series. I'm inviting you, yes, you, to join the family. All you have to do is just click the subscribe button right below. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're alerted as to when we have new episodes. And then join our family for weekly inspiring episodes that will not only lift your spirits, but will give you the tools, the keys, and the strategies that you need so that you can walk in your purpose and blaze your trail. Thanks for watching.